In today's episode of Connecting Dot, I'm in Bangalore with Manoj Mathew. We are going to unveil 40 years of experience in hospitality. A lot of wisdom, a lot of experience. Let's deep dive into it and let it come out as it was, as raw it is. And let's hear from Manoj sir. Hello sir, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good sir. I'm very excited for this. I think this is the first time that we have someone on our podcast who has got more than 30 years of experience. Yours is 40. So
Now it'll make me feel very old.
no, it's not about being old. It's about being so much dropped into this industry because मुझे लगता है कि knowledge is something which comes with time. It cannot come with 1 year, 2 year, 10 year of experience. So इस 40 साल के experience के बारे में I want to know every detail. That how you have came into hospitality और आज तक अभी तक यहाँ पे हैं क्यों?
You've taken me down memory lanes.
Yes.
I was born in a steel city, Bhilai. And very comfortable because my dad was in the HR
Okay.
and I was playing basketball for the steel plant. So a job in steel plant, central government job was assured.
Fix सरकारी नौकरी.
So it was not something that anybody would chuck and go. But I think one good thing happened is the catering movement started in India. And I was reading a lot about it. And I was very curious to go outside Bhilai because I was born there and I did my graduation there.
So बाहर जाना था.
अब बाहर जाने का. वही 12 बज गया. That's how I said, okay, which is that? So there was a catering college in Bombay. It's the best college in Bombay. So they had a 6-month course called food service management. But the only catch there was that you have to get a first class.
Oh.
And मेरी जिंदगी में कभी first class मिला ही नहीं मुझे.
Average student.
मैं खेलता रहा. So I won't say, I didn't think that was very important in my list of priorities. But that 6 months that I went to Bombay, I studied like hell. And rest is history. I joined straight in the second year of 3-year course.
So I think भिलाई से निकलना was कि बस वहाँ से निकलना है. Hospitality was not the thing.
Hospitality was there. I was very curious about it. And और एक और चीज़ था कि when someone tells me you can't do it,
Challenge.
for me that's when I say I want to show that we can do it.
And sir, first general manager बनने में मतलब जो first string as a general manager कितने साल बाद आया hospitality में?
मैं 84 से पास आउट हुआ, 92 में जनरल मैनेजर बना.
8 साल.
I think I was probably one of the youngest general managers then.
मैं वही पे आ रहा था सर. ये 8 साल में GM बनने का राज क्या है?
I think one thing that I had bosses who trusted my abilities and who gave the freedom to work in my space as long as I gave results. So I didn't necessarily have to follow everything to the T. And they didn't expect me to check back. As long as I was giving results, they were happy with it. And I think I was fortunate. See, luck also plays a role. I was fortunate to be at the right place at the right time. So I came to Kerala. Having a surname Mathew, they posted me to Kerala. Where they were opening Malabar Hotel. So I was there as a banquet manager, then F&B manager. And from there, straight away, we were opening the hotel in Kumarakam, Taj Kumarakam. That's where Mr. Bajpayee stayed. So I was the first general manager there.
So sir, GM बनने के लिए मतलब आज उस time पे when you were working, I think the things came in front of you, you performed, you delivered, and so you grow. But आज जब इतने साल बाद बैठ के देखते हैं, so there were some qualities that you would have inherited और आपने उसके ऊपर काम किया होगा. What are these few 3-4 things that someone should carry it if they want to become an aspiring GM at 5-star hotel?
I think one of the things that you have to understand is you have to carry your team along. You have to be an inspired leader. It's not all about myself. You have to remember that it's not about me. It's about us. So that is very important. If you keep thinking that मैं हूँ तो मैं जो मेरे बिना कुछ नहीं होगा, then it's not the way it works. Because if you look at a hotel, for a customer experience, there's a whole journey.
Yeah.
Right from the time he picks up the phone to call your hotel till the time he checks in, there are so many interactions. So it's not one person who's making that positive impact. There are a lot of people. So you must give credit to the other.
Everyone, yeah. So I think
Second is, you must also understand that you should love people. You should not think that you're doing a favor. Please remember, you have to be customer centric. That means because of the customers, we are there, not the other way around. Sometimes we feel that if you are a big brand, the customers should look at the brand. No. The brand is there because the
Because of-
customers patronize.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. You have to be very customer centric. And you have to know your employees very well as to who can do what.
capabilities of each individual.
So then you have to have a personal connect with your team. Then they also feel you wanted. They also work for you as a team.
I think there was long enough time आपने leadership position पे expend किया. How much was the time with Taj sir?
With Taj, it was 25 years.
35 years. What is that one thing that you would like to tell about this 35 साल की जर्नी को अगर हम एक लाइन में कंडेंस करें, what was it for you?
देखो बहुत मुश्किल है एक साल में कंडेंस करना, क्योंकि मेरा असाइनमेंट केरला से अफ्रीका, अफ्रीका से फिर केरला, फिर बड़ौदा, फिर केरला, फिर श्रीलंका, फिर बैंगलोर, ये सब जगह घूम के आया हूँ. और एक चीज़ एज अ जीएम मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ कि यू हैव टू बी पैशनेट अबाउट what you do, and you have to have the right attitude. Because it's a great industry, because if today you had a bad day, tomorrow is a totally different day. So you don't have to worry कि कल क्या होना.
Yeah, this gives you new challenges every day. The industry
Every
is...
day is different. So that's another thing. Then if you are so used to variety, so used to precision, boring, you can't do boring repetitive work again and again. That's one problem for a hotelier.
Yeah.
So I think if you have to see in this 35-year journey, I would say the most important thing is that there is no substitute for hard work. And the best part is if you love your job, then you actually don't think it's about the long hours and all this thing. And I think the most important thing is you have to be customer-centric and employee-centric. And also look at the big picture always. That means there's a lot of advancement and a lot of development. So your feet should be on the ground, but your head should be on the clouds.
So after 35 years, was the time for a retirement for you? Why not retired?
No, the company policy is that 60 years was retirement. So I retired in that sense, but I was not willing to stop working. So I don't think mentally I was prepared to retire. I realized that there is much more that I have to do, and I can see this. This experience in different countries and different cities makes you aware that there's a lot more
To
you can complement.
Yeah.
And you can contribute to the organization, to the industry. So I was very keen to continue this journey. And I was fortunate to join a group, the Tamara Leisure Experiences, who are absolutely a wonderful group to work with, because they are highly ethical. And the Tata culture, which I was so used to, it's almost like a continuation of my journey.
It's the same culture that you found.
Similar culture. And that helps. Because what happens is after you retire, you don't want to compromise.
Yeah.
You don't want to change and join some, sorry to use the word, Lala company.
Yeah, of course.
Where, you're not professional.
Yeah.
They're extremely professional. They're ethical. And they care about the organization. They care about the people. So when that happens, then it's easy for me to continue.
So tell me more about Tamara, sir. What are they getting into? What is the biggest picture for Tamara that we are looking at?
Yeah, so Tamara's journey started some 12 years back, they opened the first hotel,
Mm.
the Tamara Cool.
Okay.
And I think that they got a lot of recognition with the first opening. And then one good thing about Tamara is that they believe a lot in sustainability and responsible hotelier.
And
So right from the project stage itself, they're very conscious that they should not spoil the environment and all eco-friendly practices. I think we are probably one of the only groups where from long time we had bottling plants, so no plastic bottles,
whoa.
all our properties. So that is one of the small things. And we do a lot more things. We won a lot of awards
Yeah.
based on this. But the journey started 12 years back with one property. Now we have 6 running hotels, another 6 in the pipeline.
Mm.
So, and we've got 4 hotels which we own.
Okay.
The best part is it's a small group, but very focused
Yeah.
and very aggressive in growth and very ambitious project, but in the right manner.
And
That means we want to be responsible hoteliers. In fact, we've done a program now for the catering college interns
okay.
where we tell them that come to a hotel and we'll do a course called Responsible Hoteliers of Tomorrow.
That's
It's a 6 weeks course where we take them through that. So apart from learning housekeeping, front office and all that, we also learn about sustainability and eco-friendly practices in all art. So it was a fantastic course, and I think we are going to now roll out the same for the faculty of colleges so that they understand the importance of
This is great initiative, sir.
it.
And Tamara is getting into only luxury division, or is there anything else that they want?
We have 3 divisions. We have a Smart Basics hotels called the Lilac,
Like, yeah.
which is a budget.
But it's a city hotel.
It is city, leisure, pilgrimage,
Okay.
transit hotels. So these are in tier 2 and tier 3
3 city.
cities.
Mokes and box hotels.
Yeah. So it'll be 50 to 100 rooms, small rooms.
Yeah.
But these are basically for transit, for pilgrimage places like Guruvayur,
Mm.
Kumbakonam, all these places.
Yeah.
Then we have business hotels called O by Tamara. We have
Yeah.
one opened in Trivandrum.
Okay.
They're doing extremely well. Now we've got another one opening in Coimbatore next month.
Okay.
And then we have the resorts, luxury resorts.
Mm.
That's it, Tamara Cool, Tamara Kodai. We have one more vertical which we have is the Amal Tamara. This is an Ayurvedic hospital.
So, okay. This is basically hotel come hospital.
Yes. So this is an ABH certified hotel
Mm.
where we have very talented doctors, Ayurvedic doctors. You have a minimum stay of 7 days.
Like Ananta.
Yeah, it is similar, but it is very, very unique
Mm.
because we get great reviews. If you go and check out the website, you will know that Amal Tamara
Yeah.
is fantastic.
So wellness में बहुत कम players हैं इंडिया में, I think. When it comes
Wellness
to
तो बहुत प्लेयर्स है लेकिन वो वेलनेस नहीं कर रहे हो.
no, वो top level wellness की बात कर रहे हैं हम.
वेलनेस के नाम पे पैसे बन रहे हैं.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is that if you're not authentic, then you can be there only for a short while.
Of course. आप पैसा बना रहे हो.
हाँ बस तो उसके बाद फिर people will know that see when you come to Amal Tamra, there is a first call is with the doctor, not for anybody else. The doctor will tell you, हाँ आप 7 दिन हमारे साथ रहोगे, I can make a difference. Once the doctor says yes, then only we admit.
Yeah. Of course, it's an hospital basically.
Yeah, so that's how we do the Amal Tamra reservation. There is a pre-registration call by the doctor who assesses and says, okay, yes. He goes through the patient's reports and talks to the patient.
You have to answer all the questions.
And then she says, yeah, please come over, we'll make a difference. And they guess incredibly happy. That's the difference between our hotel and a wellness.
So how are you liking the second inning, sir? ये 60 साल के बाद का जीवन.
I'm loving it. In fact, I think second inning is much more interesting for me because it's not just one hotel now. It's a group of hotels. And also, we are strategically making, this is a stage where we are setting the foundations of the group and the organization. So there is a vision of the founders, our CEO, Sutish Rubalam. So if we embrace that vision, then you can make a difference. So I think it's exciting time for us. We want to be known not because of a big brand, but because a brand which can make a difference to all the guests who come and interact with us.
So, this is very personal for you also to answer. In terms of giving so many years to one brand, like आपने ताज में बहुत साल दिए, टाटा ग्रुप में, but you never took a corporate role. आप यूनिट पे ही फोकस रहे.
मेरे को, see, I'll tell you, I was getting different assignments, different sizes of hotel, different complexity of jobs. That is number one. And there's always a trade-off. Because you work abroad, you make money. And your children go to the best schools.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off, which I was happy because your kids were taken care of and they got the best education. But our Taj did not stop me from growing mentally, in the sense they exposed me to courses in IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, Nanyang University, Singapore. All these places we went, we gained knowledge. So it's not that there was no growth in jobs, and we were always collaborating with hotels. Yes, in the last few years, I would not have said no to a corporate job, but I think the group was growing, and my challenges was I was setting up hotels. In Sri Lanka, we did a $12 million renovation. Then in MG Road, we did a 100 crore renovation. So that keeps you on your toes. So
you were always on run, fixing things for Taj, basically.
I enjoyed it because there's also a lot of learning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learning. And see, what happens is this kind of learning you don't get anywhere. I mean, you can't attend a program and say, okay, I've learned. This is absolutely ground level learnings. And you interact with the project teams, architects, interior designers, apart from the usual department.
You knew different things that we have never got into.
Yeah. A normal general manager may not get exposed to all these things. So I was absorbing in. So what happens now is I can contribute when we are growing. Yeah. I can contribute. I can talk the same language as an architect or interior design, which helps. But I understand their challenges and they understand mine from. So it's better to communicate.
So most of the people who say no after 60, there's enough has been done and I want to sit down. Is it something on a mindset level that what goes in that people say, no, I have to do more? Or there are people who say, no, I've done enough, I have to sit down, relax?
I think it's got to do with the mindset. If you are enjoying what you do and you reached, actually 60 is not an age to retire. Let me tell you. Because our job is such complex.
Yeah.
You gain so much experience and knowledge that after 60 is the time when you can share.
Yeah.
And you can be a mentor to a lot of young general managers. You can really make a difference in the industry. That's not the time to sit back at home and say, oh yeah,
that's what I was looking at. See, you have gained so much of knowledge, experience. Why not go out and share it? So you help this industry where you have earned for so many years.
So I think that's the phase that you evolve into. It's not more into hardcore operations. Hardcore operations बहुत कर लिया है. More strategic, and the corporate role suits me well because I still empathize with the operations team because I've done it for so long. At the same time, I tell them the big picture as to where company is going and where.
Yeah. And also, I think it is good time for you to build a team because now the team which is going to get under you and that you're nurturing them, mentoring them, this is 40 years of experience in fact. So I always say, if I have to make 1,000 problem working with you, probably I'll know how to get 500 fixed because you have already done that.
Yeah, but it's a danger. क्या होता है ना, कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे को सब आंसर्स मालूम है.
हाँ.
और एक नया बंदा आता है, उनको ना डिफरेंट वे ऑफ लुक, आउटलुक. तुम कभी उसको रोक दोगे. So that's one thing I think as experienced professional, you have to curb that instinct. You must allow new ideas to come in.
Yeah.
Those fresh ideas to come in, fresh way of looking at things. Because if you keep saying that you do the same thing over and again, then it's not, you're not growing. So I think one of the things that I would recommend as a senior professional is that allow the youngsters to express and come up with a different way of looking. I mean, COVID has taught us
Yeah. Correct.
a big story. Ki, bhaiya, what you learned in the hospitality is wiped clean.
Wiped.
Now it's a new way of looking at hotel industry. How did all this collaboration, check-in, contactless check-in,
Hygiene and all
these things came in now in a big way.
Yeah.
So there is another way of looking. So I think what, as senior professionals, what you should do is support them with, if there's some great ideas, allow them to debate you. If you think your idea is great and somebody, you must give them the confidence that they can disagree.
Yeah.
You should not take offense.
Of course.
So that's the crux.
That's a quality one should develop at the age when you grow and take experience, that you are always open to learn, because at your time you have already done the learning, you have reached to the age. Now there are people who are exploring bigger, better world that we were not there.
Yes.
So हम अभी आज बात कर रहे थे, हमारे टाइम पे हमने फ़ोन आते देखा, and there is a generation who was born with the phone. So they have more exposure to knowledge than we were.
Yeah, and I think the youngsters don't take everything in face value.
Yeah.
They like to question.
Yeah.
They like to know for themselves whether it is worth it. And I think you must give them that space to debate and counter.
It's good for us also.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's very good for us. Because the industry is growing and evolving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes happening in industry also. So I think technology has come a big way in hospital. So I think it's a good time to blend experience with youth.
Let's talk the serious issues on hospitality now with you, because you have been with this industry for a long time. What has changed from your time when you were the GM versus today's GM? So, पहले के GM और आज के GM के में क्या अंतर आया है सर?
I mean, the customers have changed to a great extent. That's number one. That means your customers want instant gratification. They don't have time for everything. So they want this, they want it. So your response to a customer's need has to be fast. And you should know what is the specific need for a specific segment of customer. This is not that in olden days एक leisure hotel खोल दिया तो सब लोगों को वही मिलता है solution. Now it's curated experience.
Correct.
In a leisure hotel, some are honeymooners, some are trekkers, some are family with reunions.
Correct.
Each one has got a different need. So now we are much more specific about how we want to tackle that. That's the first. Second thing is you have to understand that while technology is there to support you, you still have to interact with your guests.
Of course.
That has not changed. So if you substitute interaction with technology, then it's a bad sign.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening now is people think that meeting guests is not important.
Yeah.
Understanding the guest profile, guest needs is more important, which is not the correct thing. At least that I'm still feel that the guest wants to meet people in the
I believe
talk
that.
to them.
Yeah. So
That's the shift that I see. That sometimes general managers are not visible in the hotel.
दिखते नहीं है.
They are at the office in front of a laptop. It's not a good sign. I mean, you should, of course, be in front of a laptop to understand. But I think you must
Be on the ground level.
Yeah, you must meet the guest.
Okay. So हमने अभी बात करी तामरा की, जब हम बात कर रहे थे about sustainable hospitality. I think a lot of people are talking nowadays about बहुत सारे होटल अपने आगे इको होटल दिखने लग गए हैं. So sustainable hospitality के लिए what is the biggest central effort that India is making, and as a hotelier, as a hospitality industry, we are doing?
I mean, देखो, we are the biggest polluters. Now, I'm talking of our group. So we have something called a war on waste. It means we discourage waste. In my staff cafeteria, there is a board which says that today after every meal it says there was so many grams wastage, we could have fed so many people.
Mm.
So that consciousness key, that is just one part of it. We have, if we give buffets, we see what is the portion of food which is come back, which cannot be used and has to be thrown. So we try to reduce that. That's as far as wastage is concerned. Then usage of chemicals and usage of alternative solar powers, for example, alternative energy.
Yeah.
So all these things have made, we are very conscious of the fact that we should make a difference. And so I think time has come for every hotel to look at sustainability as a way of life. You can't say that this is an optional thing. It's no longer optional. From our side, we have each and every hotel, each and every industry, why only hospitality? Each and every industry must look at this much more carefully, because your guests are questioning you. They want to see which are the places which are eco-friendly. What are the carbon footprints?
Yeah.
The guests are questioning you. Your employees are questioning you. The children are questioning. So if you, in my house, my son doesn't like me bringing anything which is got plastic. And I'm not taught him that.
Yeah.
But he's now conscious, so we are very careful about how single-use plastics are.
Yeah. I think this one way, when we talk about sustainable hospitality, ये करने में होटल का फायदा भी है.
फायदा लॉन्ग टर्म होगा. अभी लगता है कि कॉस्ट ज़्यादा है, थोड़ा लगेगा मेहनत, बट एक्चुअली लॉन्ग टर्म बहुत फायदा है.
Yeah.
और अगर अभी नहीं करोगे, बाद में you'll be left behind, because if you see, there is a consciousness in the country. If you look at G20, everywhere they're talking about
Yeah.
sustainable practices. So it's not just about one group or one hotel. It's a worldwide phenomenon. We have abused, and COVID has taught us that we have abused the nature. We have been very careless, and we've been absolutely ruthless about Mother Earth, and it's payback time. So if we don't do something correctly now, we'll be in trouble.
How do you feel about having less number of government intervention when it comes to hospitality industry, because there is less of laws? So आज होटल की स्पेसिफिकेशंस कैसी होनी चाहिए? तो 2-4 बड़े लॉज हैं जो हम जानते हैं, फायर से लेकर के बाकी वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट लॉज, बट देयर इज नॉट मच ऑफ इंटरवेंशन फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट. डू यू थिंक दैट सस्टेनेबिलिटी को लेके और बाकी बहुत सारे और एस्पेक्ट को लेके देयर शुड बी अ नॉर्म, प्रॉपर नॉर्म किस पे होटल बननी चाहिए?
देखो, गवर्नमेंट शुड बी फैसिलिटेटेड. Government should not worry about if there is a destination which needs to be promoted as a tourist destination. Government should focus on infrastructure
Yeah.
so that it's accessible.
Roads.
Government should look at public health and safety. These are the areas that the government should focus on. Ease of doing business is also another department where
Yeah.
government should look at saying that there is a single window for investors. They don't have to run. The number of licenses
Yeah.
which are old needs to be come down. I think there is some amount of work which is going on to reduce the number of licenses and remove some of the old laws which are really not applicable. But we still have a long way to go. But I think some states have looked at it and they've realized the potential of attracting investors by making it easy for them to do business. And I think it's a matter of time before all this, there'll be one single law for on the whole country.
Yeah.
Right now it's not there, but I think it'll change.
So there are few imposed law in Himachal Pradesh which I've seen, because there you can't sell, कसौली की बात कर रहा हूँ, you can't sell इस level के ऊपर rate whatever you have done in the hotel. So you have to have a smart TV to sell for 12,000 rupees. Why are you selling the room on a lesser price if these amenities are not there?
Yeah, so वही ना, तो कई जगह पे intervention की जरूरत नहीं है. The market decides the price.
Correct.
And if your price is too high and the customer doesn't perceive value for money, वो आएगा नहीं ना.
Correct.
वो price अपने आप नीचे आ जाएगा. तो ये जो प्राइस के ऊपर अपन ज़्यादा है उसको फोकस नहीं देना चाहिए. अपने को देखना है कि वैल्यू फॉर मनी कैसा है. एक देयर इज वन क्वेश्चन दैट यू डू यू परसीव दैट whatever you are charged, you paid.
You're satisfied with that, yeah.
So customers will tell you if he perceives the value for money is good.
Yeah, I think I've given this example to, I was there in IIM, I was talking to someone, I said, if you're staying in Radisson, you get the room at 2,000 rupees and there is a stain on a carpet, you will not make a head lot of noise. But if you're paying 30,000 rupees per night for the same hotel and there is a small spot on the carpet, you're going to make day bad for everyone around the hotel. So value for money is perception that at what price you're getting what. And if you are satisfied with that, that's fine. But in terms of tourism, if we talk about, so because hospitality is directly linked with tourism, India has seen growth. Earlier COVID came in, we are now getting back because now G20 and India is doing a lot of things, which eventually comes and boil down to that hospitality industry will grow. So everyone want to come in this industry, this is the time. But do you think that we have done enough in terms of promoting tourism for India? Because हमने Incredible India का ad और MP गजब है वो खत्म हो चुके सामान्य हो गए. मैंने बहुत छोटे में देखे थे.
देखो एक चीज बता रहा हूँ कि अपना tourism is two parts. One is domestic tourists and one is international. अब पे इंडिया के लोग खुद भारत पूरा देखे नहीं.
Correct.
Okay, so there is a scope for domestic tourists to thrive. पहले क्या होता था कि छुट्टियों के समय आप अपने ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स के पास जाते,
नानी नाना
के घर जाते. अब ऐसा नहीं है. अब नानी नाना को साथ लेके कहीं जाएंगे.
हाँ, मसूरी जाना है, यहाँ जाना है.
So there is a change in the lifestyle of people. So there are two parts I told you about the domestic tourism. So are we equipped to look at domestic tourists? Is our hotel capable of handling domestic tourists? That's first. For international tourists, it's important to look at circuits, travel time,
Correct.
condition of road. Now, let's take the example of Cook. Now, if I want to attract international tourists, I can't expect the guest who traveled 11 hours to Bangalore and then take another 5 hours to go to Cook.
Yeah.
It's not practical. So you have to break the journey. So you have to make a circuit. So after that, he comes to Bangalore for one night. He stays in Mysore for 2 nights.
Yes.
Or one night. And then he goes to Cook. So if you have a circuit like that, then your international travel. So if you don't have hotels in all these places, I said, it's time for hoteliers to collaborate.
Exactly. So
ऐसे बोला जी कि मेरे होटल में ठहरो. I said we have good relationship, the good, reasonably good hotel. We can recommend this hotel for you. It can be part of your circuit. So then your international travelers know that okay, these are recommended by the final destination or any one of them. That okay, you want to spend. So international tourists needs a little more attention. And you must understand what is the need. Whether it is for cuisine, whether it is for art and culture, whether it is for relaxation, whether it is for wildlife, there is different needs. So special interest groups we have to see and accordingly make itineraries, which is not too taxing. And the government should, now this G20 has created a lot of awareness.
Correct.
But that will convert into tourism is a separate, different thing.
I also don't know. Sure.
But at least the awareness is growing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Again, people are knowing India. This is across the globe. People are.
Yeah, the perception about
India is changing.
country is changing.
Correct.
Which is a good thing for us. That people don't think that India में आने से बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. पता नहीं क्या है, कहाँ क्या है.
Correct.
वो डर निकल रहा है धीरे धीरे. I think that is a big step forward. But tourism के लिए बहुत काम. We have to look at our infrastructure. Roads, and that's fantastic. The trains and roads are improving connectivity. So I think we are in the right direction, but we still have a long way.
I think travel agents के time था जर, and they were the people who key player to create these kind of circuits. बहुत help करी है. So मुझे अच्छे से याद है series business और ये सारी चीज़ें पहले travel agent बहुत active थे. With technology coming in, everything getting to the customer very easily. this has changed a lot of game for travel agent. I think ये ecosystem के लिए बहुत important part था जो अब बहुत धीरे धीरे diminish होता जा रहा है. Do you think अगर travel agents के लिए कुछ industry कुछ कर पाती तो they could have given back lot many things to as an industry?
ये double-edged sword है. Travel agents have to evolve. Travel agents have to use technology. They have to collaborate with each other. Because the guest is also now much more aware of options. So it's not that he only depends on traveling. He's looking at different options. He's opening different sites. So you have to, if you have to be a differentiator as a travel agent, you have to give something unique which cannot be compared. And that's not very easy unless you collaborate. So I think for travel agents, while there is a huge market and potential, they need to evolve into one-stop shop where they take care of every single aspect of a guest needs, right? And they understand what the needs of the guest is and build a itinerary based, not just saying that I've got this rate for the guest, that rate for the room, this rate. No, it's not about money, but it's all about experience for the guest. Right. Gone are the days where the guest is looking for accommodation and food. They're not looking for experience.
But I think travel agents are almost on a level where if they don't do anything now, this will be there will be only bigger players who are going to sustain. मेरे को छोटा सा हमने Make My Trip का MyBiz करके एक application है that which is part of Make My Trip. And I was surprised to look at because at my time I used to say that either you're getting the corporate bookings from GDS or from the travel agent which is coming through. But suddenly from Flipkart to Amazon to everyone is booking through MyBiz. So if I'm an employee at Kirloskar, I have a Make My Trip app and my company have done a tie with the hotels. So whether it is Taj, Oberoi or any other hotel. If I go, I will see all of this. The job which was done by Amex or BCG Travel is been done by the employee itself. And he just clicks it. Hotel is booked. You don't have to do the payment. Everything is done. You go, stay, you come out. And everything is getting recorded in your corporate office as well. So I think if this kind of setup is already present and travel agents are still not waking up. So,
that's what I said. They have evolved. And I think there are some good travel agents who can give good right options. But that number is few.
Yes.
So that number, if they have to survive, I think they have to evolve and they have to adapt to the changing needs and requirements of the customers.
I think at our age, we have seen a lot in this industry and there is a lot more to happen. So one question that brings me to, so I remember then when I started, there was less type of accommodation were there. Now there is huge array of number of accommodation. You go to tents, to chalets, to villas, to service apartment, geodesic dome, everything is there. And now there is culture of hospitality is also there, which is wellness to jungle safaris to business hotel to leisure. What is in both the term in terms of the accommodation type and the type of hospitality that people want is going to be in future?
I think people want destination to stay in destination with blends. So I may go to a remote place where the tent blends with that destination, they will stay in it. But if I go to a place like Rajasthan where a palace or a fort is more relevant, then I will stay there. So I think guests want different experiences.
At every location.
So there is no one thing which says that tent is successful or forts or palaces are successful or villas are successful, homestays are successful. Because of the fact that we have different segments wanting different things at different times. Now, for example, nobody thought that homestays will become so popular.
Yeah.
But what's the flip side? Airbnb is closing in certain countries. So there's a flip side to everything. Yeah. The needs of the guest are changing. And if you don't adapt, if you say, okay, I've got a successful model, don't think that successful model will work forever. During my time, there was no cumin for Taj. There is no Ama trails, homestays. All this are verticals which have been added. So they have evolved. So if you don't evolve, And if you don't keep looking at what the customer needs, I think then it's a problem.
So Taj has broadened the horizon in terms of number of stays, hotels also, and the kind of accommodation that they provide. So one thing that you would like to part to people who are right now getting into the hospitality, so someone who is studying or someone who is just got into the hospitality industry, I was just trying to look at the experience that hospitality can give them today while it was different at your time and my time. What is the kind of experience that one can expect to get into the hospitality industry right now?
I think you have to be, first thing you have to be passionate about this whole hospitality. Don't sit in this ring and expect. You have to jump in the middle of it. That's number one. Embrace change. That means if you say that I'm going to do a certain thing a certain way for the next 10 years, doesn't happen. Because you have to accept that change. Embrace technology because there's a lot of technology. Be very customer-centric. Everything revolves right for the customer. If you should not forget the customer who's in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
And be conscious of your leadership style. If you want to understand, if you should know your employees well, your colleagues well, your team well. You cannot function as an island. You have to collaborate with people. So team building, team effort is extremely important. And you have to remember the sustainability practices that is prevalent now. You embrace it and learn more about it. Because people are now looking at these options much more seriously. These are few things that I can think of and now.
And in terms of culture, sir, like 12 घंटे 15 घंटे काम करना पहले normal था. What is the culture that you right now in building in Tamara, probably जब तक आप ताज में थे, so you have seen culture changing. What is the culture that you see in future is going to come in?
ये 12 घंटे 14 घंटे is absolutely not required. That's because there should be work-life balance. Because if you don't do that, then you think you're doing a favor to the organization.
Yeah.
काम करो बोलते हैं कि मेरे कारण चल रहा है. एक फीलिंग आ जाता है मैं इतने घंटे काम किया तो मेरे कारण ही रोक. Because I'm working for this. That is irrelevant now. What you should do is how effective and how productive you are in the time that you spend in office. Whether it's 8 hours, 10 hours. If the situation demands that you work for a couple of more hours, so be it. But it is not that you will keep spending time there unnecessarily to impress your boss. That's not important anymore. I think it is more that you are very productive and effective and efficient in whatever you do.
Right, sir.
That is more important.
I think I'll add to this. जो आपका current situation है सर, यहाँ पे मतलब I look at hospitality as that हम जब आश्रम में बच्चों को देखते हैं, they've been taught कि आपको behave कैसे करना है, बात कैसे करनी है, serve कैसे करना है. And everything that has been taught in IHM is physical in nature. So front office, housekeeping, F&B service, F&B production. And I say, where is the brain part? And then over a year of experience, you learn there's a lot more brain required to run this industry. आप hotels की बात करो. And I knew this for sure when I was into revenue management. I said, where the revenue managers come from? And there was no birthplace. So आप पढ़ाते नहीं हो. फिर वो धीरे धीरे सीखते सीखते वो पहुँचता. और आज वो पोजीशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आज मार्केटिंग होटल के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आज डेटा एनालिटिक्स होटल के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
So there is that's a question that I think is getting tackled both at the national level and at the industry level also, that what you teach in colleges has to be relevant now.
Yeah.
Okay. All that you mentioned about marketing, data analytics, revenue management, these have to be important subjects now in the curriculum.
Yes.
And the other thing which you have not spoken and which I think is important is the focus on mental health.
Yes, exactly.
You see, what's happening now is youngsters are more into mobiles and, handheld phones, and interaction between people is minimum.
Yeah.
That is not a good sign, I think, because people then can't handle stress.
Yes.
So if you have been mentally strong to be in this profession, so I think a lot more emotions and expression should come out from the employees. So there has to be conscious development by the L&D department and the HR department to see that they are in touch with the employees. The employees have, because they spend a lot of time in the hotel, so it's like a family. They should really feel family. They should have a friend at workplace whom they can confide and talk. Because if you're only talking to yourself and then you go home and everybody's on the phone, your expression, your internal frustrations and internal problems are never discussed. Then a small problem can become into big. So
Yeah.
I think that's one more thing that you may want to look at going forward.
Correct. I think industry has many flaws that has been continuing for a very long time and not fixed now. I think बहुत सारी चीज़ें और बदल जाएंगी. मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को देखा when you are in college there is steep amount of aggression that they want to join brands like Marriott, brands like Hyatt. And while I was working with Marriott, I have worked with Hyatt, I have worked with Radisson, and the entire area that when I look at, I said, how many international brands will rule our country? Whereas we have hospitality colleges, we know hospitality, we teach other countries how hospitality is all about. And there is less amount of people who are getting. So when I was talking about Tamara, I said I was very happy because there are brands which are coming in this space where international companies came in, jumped in, and they are opening hotels, hundreds of hotels in less than 5-10 years of time. What is your outlook on international brand occupying the entire space here in India?
I always welcome competition, because if you don't have competition, you tend to think that you don't need to improve. Competition keeps you on your toes. That's number one. You know that story about the Japanese, they went to the sea to fish. And they used to bring, those days there were no freezers, so they used to bring the fish in the tanks. So they introduced one shark in that tank. The shark will make the fish run. So the fish was healthy and alive when it came to the shore. So I think competition is important.
Yeah.
That's number one. But I think people are not very enamored by brands anymore, because they also travel internationally. And they see different levels of hospitality in different countries. So they understood that it's not always a big brand that can give you what you may get a good name on your Facebook saying that you stayed at a brand, but ultimately the customer wants is an experience.
Experience, yeah.
I think he's become more discerning. He understands where he can get the experience. He goes by reviews. He looks at referrals. So I think that only depending on a name and a brand will not make you a top player in any country. You have to back it up with experiences. You have to back it with what the customer wants and needs. If you can do it, then it's not very difficult to grow in India, because in India, there's a huge market for all segments.
Yeah, because I came from this thought, whereas if you have too many of international brands coming in, they will always leave space for competition, but less player can come in because your entry barrier is going up every day. Whereas you reach to China or any other country, there is restriction of how many hotels an international brand can have in this country, because they want equal fair play for their own homegrown players. But I think I'm very proud to say this, that I've seen Indian brands coming up in last 5 years. They have made name internationally. I just recently seen Taj has signed one international brand. And this was my question when I was in Assam. I was doing out area meet. And I said, do you know how many international hotel the Taj has versus how many Marriott hotel is already in India? So I want to see that we have many Taj hotel in US than our own country, other than Lemon Tree or Ananta or some that you are right now pivoting to a new brand. So I think Indian brands and people in India should look at this industry, because it's going to be 7-8% contributor to GDP into next 10-15 years. And it's going to be $6 trillion industry. बहुत पैसा है सर इसमें. और अगर यहाँ पे इस इंडस्ट्री में आज इंडियन बिजनेस ओनर्स या फिर इंडियन हॉस्पिटैलिटी प्रोफेशनल नहीं आना चाह रहे. दैट इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ सैड पार्ट टू लुक एट. बट जितने ब्रांड्स अभी हैं मुझे नहीं लगता ये इनफ है और आने चाहिए.
आएंगे किधर भी, wherever there's a market, where there's a need, and if there are success stories around, you'll see more players jumping in.
Yeah.
But the word of caution here is that you see, opening hotel is very easy.
Yeah.
पैसा है तो आप
खोल सकते
खोल सकते हैं, लेकिन रनिंग होटल इज नॉट ईजी.
पर सर बहुत प्रोफेशनल हैं आज.
But professionals are distributed in a lot of hotels, so you may, there is a shortage of skilled men, and catering colleges are not full anymore.
Yeah, I know.
So there are catering colleges which are running vacant seats. Why are people not coming into this profession? That's the question we need to ask. People are not excited about this future of hospitality because we have not focused on what, and we have not looked at our curriculum. And I think we are really slow in accepting that youth way of looking at things is changed. We want them to function as the same catering college student which was there 20 years back. It's not the same.
I think सर कुछ चीज़ें हमारी पहुंच से बाहर हैं. एंड आई विल गिव यू द एग्जांपल ऑन दिस. ये बिल्कुल सही प्रॉब्लम है कि कोविड में मैंने पढ़ा था 60% सीट खाली थी और उसके बाद से देयर वाज लेस ऑफ इंटरेस्ट फॉर पीपल टू कम इनटू हॉस्पिटैलिटी बिकॉज माइंडसेट अभी भी वही है. फिजिकल का 12 घंटे खड़े होना फ्रंट ऑफिस के लिए एंड देन आपको हाउस कीपिंग इन सब चीज़ों में यही डिपार्टमेंट पता है. आई थिंक यहाँ पे मुझे लगता है कि गवर्नमेंट हैज़ टू डू लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट. आई हैव सीन 2023 का बजट ऑफ हॉस्पिटैलिटी. It is similar to what it was last year because hospitality is growing by its natural pace. Government is not doing anything for it in terms of effort. हमें और आपको याद होगा कि that we have seen एक समय आया था जब लोग आर्मी ज्वाइन नहीं कर रहे थे and they have came up with so nice ad to motivate us that why to join army. I think this time has came that we should motivate a lot of people to why to join hospitality because money is good, technology is cutting in, you get the good lifestyle. आज अगर आपको किसी सेलिब्रिटी को मिलना है दे आर गोइंग टू स्टे इन ताज. एवरीथिंग इज़ ग्रेट आउट हियर. आई थिंक अभी तक ये एजुकेशन बाहर नहीं है. दैट इज़ द रीज़न वी आर शॉर्ट ऑफ मैन पावर.
I think more than the government, it is the responsibility of the existing hoteliers.
Correct. The peak leaders.
Two things that they have to do. One is, of course, create awareness not only in catering colleges, but other colleges also about the future of hospitality. That is number one. Number two is, anybody who's coming as an intern to your hotel, please treat them well. Please make them feel like a professional, not like a casual labor. See, we have made the mistake in the past of not treating them like, okay, आगे एक और आ गया, चलो उसको उठाओ.
आलू छीलने के लिए.
Suppose days are gone now. If you don't treat them like professionals, they'll not be keen to come and join. So I think there's a lot more responsibility for the hoteliers to promote and create awareness, and also how to interact with professionals who are doing this 3-year course and wanting to be future hoteliers. So that's what my take is.
I think you said it right. It is on to us. Interns या exposure जिसको पहला exposure जैसा मिलता है सर वो वैसे ही लाइफ में बनने की कोशिश करता है. I'll tell you my story on hospitality exposure. I was never destined to become a hotelier because I'm an IT graduate. I landed to Mr. Saroop. He was running a startup, Praxis Services. When I landed to him, I realized that this guy was senior vice president for Oberoi's and is going to teach me. And यही मैं college जाता तो मैं fees देता. And I was 21, 22 years old and I had this conscious mind that this guy knows a lot of things. And what I'm saying is that someone left lakhs of rupees of job to start a business that is making crores of rupees. And this was my exposure when I stepped into hospitality versus someone else's exposure. That I came into the hotel, I worked for 12 hours. I've cleaned the floor. I've done this and I'm very tired. I'm dead as to sleep. And this is the kind of thing that has to change. And because of my exposure, I always seen hospitality as a good thing. I always seen there is a lot of potential. There is a lot of change can be brought in. I have seen a lot of technology coming in front of my eyes. Channel manager मेरे सामने आया, revenue management software मेरे सामने आया, and I've seen this growing, and I anticipate कि आगे और ज़्यादा बढ़ेगा. So अगर हम interns से लेके कॉलेज तक जहाँ पे हम फ्यूचर होटेलियर बना रहे हैं वहाँ चीज़ें फिक्स करेंगे तो ये फ्यूचर अपने आप अच्छा होगा.
Yeah, so college की बहुत responsibility है. एक तो college curriculum fix करना पड़ेगा फट से, which is more relevant to the present needs of the guest. So you need to teach them how to do that. Second is, I think you must have some focus on getting good quality colleges. There are a lot of colleges which are there to make money in the name of catering. It's not very good sign. So there's some kind of regulation that needs to be in place so that you know that people in serious hospitality industry should be encouraged. And of course, they should now collaborate with international universities and colleges where they can get expertise and know-how. You don't need to.
I think steps are taken, sir, and I think we are in right direction. EHL is here. We're looking at EHL to collaborate with a lot of other colleges. I don't know how the synergy between different colleges are, but options are already there. And far away from motherland India, there are things that have been getting incredibly done in very less amount of time, and we can do that.
People now like Indian cuisine.
Yeah,
it's very popular, and people have realized that in India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, it's totally different cuisines, and you can go on a culinary journey. So I think there's a lot more to learn in India. So I think there are a lot more international players who are going to come into India to learn.
Yeah. So I think there was a lot of things that we've already discussed. One last question and then we're gonna end this. बहुत सारा बात हो रहा है AI को लेके, and it is right now the hot topic at every sector. What do you think AI is gonna do to hospitality?
It's a remarkable segment. AI is being used now extensively in all departments, marketing. And I think for understanding the customer's needs and preferences, segment customers, you need technology.
Yeah.
So that you can reach out to your customers without much effort, so you can save your marketing costs.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to embrace AI, and because you can reach out faster and more effectively. But only word of caution at the unit at the hotel level is that don't substitute your interactions with your guest in the name of AI.
I'll
give you an example. very मज़ेदार एग्जाम्पल है. मैं एक होटल में चेक इन किया, मेरे को एयरपोर्ट से पिकअप किए, रिसेप्शन में आया, मिस्टर मैथ्यू वेलकम, सब कुछ. 2-3 बार मिस्टर मैथ्यू बोले. इसके बाद मैं अपने रूम में गया, मेरा की कार्ड काम नहीं कर. So I struggled for it. Then I came down to the same person. I said,
key card is not.
My key card is not working. Can I have your name, sir? अभी 10 मिनट पहले, then Mr. Mathew, how was your trip? तो ये क्या? You are using technology which says, Mr. Mathew took at our airport vehicles, so ask him these questions. But दिल से नहीं कर रहा.
Correct.
This is the danger of technology. You don't. So you say, Mr. Mathew, and I meet you in the corridor, and you look at me as a stranger. That's not the.
That's the wrong part about real technology. Yeah, I think you touched the point where hospitality will change forever.
Yeah.
If we embrace the technology at that level and not look at the flip side of it. But do you think the jobs will go for a lot of people when AI will come in?
Not really. The jobs are evolving.
There will be new jobs.
New jobs will come. New way we look at it. You look at. Last year I went to Germany. 120 room hotel is managed by 18 people.
Europe is on different.
So it's not that. So there will be a realignment of jobs.
Yeah.
Needs will be different. I think there is no shortage of.
So AI is good.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Mathew.
It's inevitable.
Thank you, Mathew, sir. It was great having you. And learning is immense. I think there was few points that I wanted answer and got it. Thank you so much. See you again, sir.
Thank you.
You are watching biggest hospitality podcast by a hotelier. Stay tuned. Follow us for more.